So in the middle of the Maimer, I have a different page number than you. Then it starts with Yesh Levaya. The second paragraph of voice base. I'll tell you what the question is, and then we'll get to the answer. So, yeah, the second paragraph of Yesh Levaya, voice base. So the question is, this Maimer, this Gimel Tammuz Maimer, is based on the famous defiant Sikha talk that the Frierdiker Rebbe said in the train station in the presence of thousands after he was released from imprisonment, the Spalerna, notorious prison that most people, you go in, you never come out. And he's now going for 3 years exile to Kostroma. So there, he says this fiery talk in the presence of the police and the guards and the secret police, as a whole, and the heavy guard. And he says, he quotes the pasuk, Hashem Elokenu Imanu kasher hayim al yiseinu al yazveinu b'al yitzeinu. Hashem should be with us like he was. With our forefathers, he shouldn't forsake us and shouldn't abandon us. So one of the shaylas was, number one, that if Hashem is described as Hashem Elokenu, it means God is with us. So what's the need to then go on to ask that he should be with us? Elokenu means our God. Implicit is already that he's with us. Secondly, the main question, which is we're focusing on now for the next little while, is what does it mean that God should be with us? And he showed that bringing some sources, that when you say something is with something else, so that something else is the main thing, and that which is with is secondary. So this is with that is the main thing, that this is secondary, correct? So if we say Hashem should be with us, we're saying we're the main thing. Hashem should be with us, Hashem is secondary, how could that be? So this is what he's explaining now. So to understand that, he first addressed the language of Chazal when talking about Yirah Shamayim. And Jew being Yirah Shamayim, literally fear of heaven. Different levels of fear, but we'll address them a little bit. But in talking about fear of heaven, it's called an oitza. Oitza means a treasure house that is amassed, that is stored, gathered from treasures. Oitza of Yirah Shamayim. So why is fear of heaven described as God's treasure chest? Answer. In the same way that the treasure chest of the king. What's the answer? You tell me. Why is Oitza involved over here? You can look at the answer.
Because the treasure is collected from other people.
The treasure, right, is collected from others. So to Kavayochel, fear of heaven is something God has to get from us. Everything Hashem gives us, our life, our parnas, everything, be'emes, all comes from Him. We're born, our gender, our talents, it's all from Him. The one thing not from Him is, basically, what am I going to do with this? And what that comes down to is fear of heaven, live a godly life or not, the right choices. So that's called God's treasure, because that He's not going to force from Him. That we give Him. So not only is it something that he doesn't impose, it's we give him, it's a treasure, it's his treasure. His treasure means this is all he wants. This is the most precious thing, is our Yirah Shamayim, the way we behave through our choices in the details of our life. Sure. That answers the question why it's called a treasure. Hashem's treasure because we give it. Now the question was, well, we give everything. All our mitzvahs are things that we do. So all our free choice that Hashem gave us this koyach. So why are we singling out Yirah Shamayim only? Let's begin that again. Yeah, we didn't finish that paragraph. So start again. Yesh L'Hoisif. By me, it's the third paragraph of Ois Beis. What is it for you? What page? Huh? Page 10.
Yes.
Test. Yesh L'Hoisif. Now it's going to add this explanation. Why is this treasure that we give the Eibishter called? Not called. Why does it refer to our fear of God? Now, we spoke about this last time, different levels of fear. I'll skip, just start the lowest level of fear and the highest level. What's the lowest level? Ita, help me. What's the lowest level of fear?
Fear of punishment. And
fear of punishment.
pain.
Yeah, you don't want to sin because you know you're going to pay for it in this world and the next world. And that's Pashat Yerushalayim. That's very selfish, obviously. That's the lowest level. And there's many levels in between. What be that? Let's describe the highest level of fear. Yira would be a simple word. What would you use? Or respect. Respect. I'm not afraid. Just respect you. And that's a much higher level, and that's is alluding to all of them, because he doesn't say it here, but elsewhere in Chassidus we learn that all the levels of fear are connected, because at the end of the day, it's about you, not me. It's not what I'm getting. It's about I'm afraid of you, I respect you. It's you. And it means I'm not going to make it clearer, I'm not going to do what I want because of you. That's the bottom line of it all. I won't do it because I'm afraid you'll punish me. I won't do it because I respect you. As we said on Friday, whenever we learned that love will not inspire such. But in other words, if you talk about a marriage, or if you just love your spouse, you'll do things, lots of things for her, but you won't stop yourself from doing something you don't want to do because she doesn't like it. That's only that of respect. Respect is what I'm going to make space for you. Love isn't making space. Love isn't give you. So I think I mentioned this without saying any names. You should have lifting in Gan Eden. There was a great Jew. He was a great Jew. It's Makar of a lot of people, hundreds of thousands of people, hundreds more maybe. Eden was inspired by him. His whole Yiddishkeit was love. So you see, in the end, what happened was that was great when it came to mitzvahs, but not doing what you shouldn't do. Nah. That wasn't the focus at all. In many ways, kind of fell to the wayside. Why? Because if it's only love, then it's expressive. Not to do something, be quiet out of love. No, that's respect. Especially when it's so different. I don't understand why you want this. I mean, what's the big deal? Clear? Okay. So let's see the words of the Maimon. So why are we singling out at the treasure chest of the king? Is a better word for it, I'm sure. Is our fear? It's all our mitzvahs. Even though that as it were, Hashem needs us to give him, because he's not going to take it by force. It's not just my fear of God; it's everything I do. So why are we singling out fear? In order to do mitzvahs properly, to be truly faithful and committed, so first he says it's through love or awe. It's got to be out of a relationship. It can't be just, what he's saying right now is it can't just be by rote. Then the mitzvahs will lack vitality, and then they become a burden and they don't last. It's got to come because inside there's an emotion. Love or awe. That's in general. Stating in fact, this is from Tanya. For the mitzvahs to be energized, to be animated, to have a chayis, and to be consistent, it's got to be because you have to be invested emotionally. Imagine a husband doesn't love his wife, he's just committed to being a husband. Now, how long can that last? You got to be invested emotionally. Now, within the two emotions, now going into the difference between love and awe, or we'll call it respect. Love of God comes through revelation above. Let's just say the words and we'll explain it. But respect is mainly what we give. It means like this. When you love something, it's because it's lovable. So you love it. That's what's meant by revelation from above. It's beautiful, it's wonderful, you're funny, all of the virtues. So why do you love? Because these things are coming to you. Wow, I love this. I love the way you make me feel. That's what love basically means at any level, really. It's I love the way you make me feel. But respect is something you give. Because respect means you don't want this to happen or you want this to happen. I don't see why, but you ask for it, so I'll do it. So respect is much more I'm giving than love is you kind of pulled it from me because you're so lovable. You're so beautiful, so I love you. And may you fall in. That's why people talk about falling in love. What's falling in love mean? It is so, you're so charismatic, physically, spiritually, whatever it is, that you fall in love. That's true. Because that's what's meant by Gila Milamayla. It's so attractive that you're drawn to it, whether it's a person or a thing, whatever it is. A nice car, you fall in love, quote unquote, with the car because it impresses you. Work there. It's it's coming to you. Respect, that's a whole different story. Respect is something that you have to give. So that's why we're zeroing in on Yiras Hashem. Continue. Now he gives us a different model, a model of a king. Respecting the king. Why do the people fear the king? Amazing thing. A king is created by the people to begin with. The king, David the Melech, who was the first king, was crowned, coronated by the people. Where? Hebron. He ruled for 7 years in Hebron, then moved to Jerusalem. At any rate, so the king is the king is king because the people made him king. If he forces his rule, he's not a king. What is he? Someone comes on with a gun and says, I'm your king. Is he a king? What is he?
Dictator.
He's a dictator. What's the Hebrew word for that? Not melech, but starts with the mem. Moishe, a ruler, a dictator. But a melech is dafke, the Kabbalah Samalchus at the making a king, accepting the king's kingship is by the people. As the Pasuk says in Parshas Shoftim, Soim Tosim Malach HaMelech, you shall appoint a king over you. It's got to start from the people. So before he was king, he was an ordinary citizen. Now we decided that this person should be our king and we're respecting him and treating him as a king. Where did it come from? This whole relationship started and created by whom? The people. Now, so this is what we're up to. Now, continuing now. Now we're going to answer the question which we asked before. What does it mean? Hashem Elokenu Imanu, God should be with us, like we're the main thing and God's secondary. Now we have the answer. Because when it comes to respecting king, we are the main players. God doesn't pull that, respect me, or I'm going to... No, gives us the choice. That's why Hashem is with us, because in this relationship, we're the main contributor. And Hashem receives our respect. When Hashem reveals his presence and gives us all kinds of brachas and life is good and we love him. So where does this love come from? Because God's lovable. He answered all your requests, you got everything you want and you love God? No, that's pretty easy because you got all this stuff from him. But respect is, you didn't get anything from him. Now, you made him your king. That's coming from you. So Yehi Hashem Elokenu Imanu, says the pasuk. Hashem should be with us, meaning we're the main thing and we've kind of invited Hashem to be part of it. What does this mean? Yes, respecting God, we're the main player. He says, it's up to you and I'm waiting. So he's with us. It simply means we create this relationship. It starts with us. It's milamata l'mayla. Clear? That's the answer. The question is what, in this context here of Mesiras Nefesh, standing on the train station, why are you talking about this now, here? You're going to see a beautiful, beautiful explanation. Let's continue. So now we understand. Now we understand why the pasuk says Hashem should be with us. like he was with our forefathers. Why with us? As if we're the main player? Not as if, because we are. When it comes to fear, respect of Hashem, which in brackets he adds from Tanya, beginning of chapter 41. That Kabbalah's oil, meaning not Pashat Kabbalah's oil. I'm not inspired, I'm not in the mood, I don't need this, I don't think I need it. Deep down I know I do, but right now I think I don't. And I still do it. That's Kabbalah's oil, that's respect. I show up, I do the mitzvah, that's Kabbalah's oil. And that's why the Kabbalah's oil is the beginning of all Avodah. It's the ikr, the primary component of all Avodah, the shorsh and the root. I'm not going to go into the three words here, but there's three powerful words that each one could stand alone. Beginning, it's the main, and it's the root. Three levels here. It's enough for us to know that this is really foundational. Is what Kabbalah's oil, Yiras Hashem. So ikr of this Adam. So that's me. I'm giving this because I'm not getting anything. You didn't pull this from me because you're so wonderful. It's just my decision to respect you. So with me means I'm the main thing, but Hashem also plays a role. Right? Even in my Kabbalah soil. What's that? Hashem helps me in my Kabbalah soil. Not on my own, completely. But the main thing is me, and then Hashem assists me. So Hashem is with me. My avodah is the ikr. Elokenu, Imanu helps me in my Kabbalah soil. Yeah? I'll continue. The more detail here about the avodah of respect of yirah. So the reason that respect is primarily what the person gives. In addition to what we said, which is, we'll get more to the core here of it. We said this. Yirah is bittul. What does bittul mean? Bittul means put me aside right now, what I would rather do, and I'm going to make space for you. That's what bittul means. So that's what respect is. Now, I told you the story, and it's this illustration. I'll tell you again, because it's very illustrative. You're using your marriage as a model, because our relationship with Hashem is like a marriage. So, remember the story? This is from Anna's reading many, many years ago. So, a guy is going out with the boys to play cards. His wife says, honey, I want you to be back at 10. All right. It's 5 to 10. He's got the best hand. He's going to clean up. Looks at his watch. Puts down the cards. So, boys, got to go. Picks up and goes. Walks into the house. Came up 10 o'clock. No big deal. He didn't come on with flowers. He doesn't get a big thank you. It's just a okay moment. But the fact is that moment where first of all, he was starting to win the game. Secondly, he had a good relationship. He could explain to his wife when he comes home that, honey, I had this hand, I'm going to win the game with the difference of 5 minutes. And she probably would have said, okay, probably. But no. She wants him home at 10. He's home at 10. That moment is pure her, much more than buying the fanciest gift, spending a lot of money, and giving it to her because I'm enjoying this, buying the gift, and I'm enjoying seeing you enjoy it. I'm getting so much from this moment when I did something for you, and I gave, and of course she responds with love and affection. When you get her this gift, obviously, walking at 10 o'clock, you don't get a very affectionate response. Oh, 10 o'clock, that's, coming home with flowers, with a gift. He just showed up on time. But that's the whole point here. No drama, nothing kind of happened. But the connection between them, that moment was pure her. He had nothing to gain here. She wants me home at 10, put it down, walk out of the room, and be home at 10. That's what bittul means. Bittul means this moment is you. I could justify it. I could do something else and you'd even forgive me. And I could explain it. And it's no big deal either. It's 5 minutes later. But no, you wanted me now. That's when it comes to mitzvahs also. The bittul in the mitzvahs is the detail. And generally doing it, well, why not? But the position, Shabbos, Kashrus, it gets to the details, which to me don't make such of a difference. I'm a Jew, I'm keeping it, but I know that you want the details like this. That's when I'm really connecting to Hashem. That's when I'm putting me aside, and that's a pure you moment. That's in the small things. Again, like in a marriage, it's an old example, but she likes that you put the cap on the toothpaste when you finish. And if you don't, marriage is on the rocks because you did, but no, she'll forget the next second. You notice it for seconds on, off. It's nothing. But you should put that cap on because you know that she likes the cap on. It doesn't really change the big picture at all. In that detail lies the deepest connection. Because it makes no difference to you, and she'll forgive it because it's such a small little detail, but what I want. So he speaks to Moshe about the Melech. Befrat Yiras HaMelech, when it comes especially to the fear of the king. So let's look at the Melech people relationship. The Pasuk says, Soim Tosim Melech HaMelech. So the Pasuk says, we quoted this before. First part of the Pasuk is telling us that it comes from you appoint. And then, Shetei Mosa Yelecha, in order that his fear be upon you. So you see right away in the Pasuk, but by number 18 in the text, it's Gimel 18. In order that his fear be upon you. Shabitl the Yirizu, the bitl of this respect. Kosherim Zeh, it's expressive of what? To Avdoi Shel HaMelech. So what's going further is like this. In a word, the Rebbe is saying that the ultimate, deepest, most foundational respect when it comes to being to Hashem, it applies also to marriage in many ways too, but is to choose to be Hashem's servant. Ana avda to kutsha brichu. Now that's a choice, a big choice, because an Eved, before he becomes the Eved, the last thing in the world he wants to be is a servant. He wants to do everything I want. But once he's an Eved, and that relationship is there for whatever reason, sometimes people are forced into it, but the nature is he's in awe and fear of his master. But when it comes to us and Hashem, this is our choice. My choice is to be an Eved. That's the deepest devotion. That's in the words of the Maamar. The Teva Eved, we said this, Who Shemes Upachad Ha'adon Olav. The nature of a servant is that the fear and the dread, literally, of the master is upon him. Shabitl the Eved, or Bitl Betachlis. The bitl of an Eved is the greatest bitl. I'm here to serve. That's the greatest bitl. Your wish, what's expression? Your command. Your wish is my command. No, your command is my. Your wish is my command. Shabitl the Eved or bitl betachlis. The bitl of an Eved is absolute, and the whole point is Hashem is not taking. I got to give this. It's got to be my choice. This comes from the person. True bittul, only I can give. Devotion, only I can give. If I'm responding to how wonderful you are, if my pa'ula, my devotion, my behavior is a result of the giloy, what you're giving me, then, these words here. Then my devotion to you is additional to me. Why? Why am I devoted? Because you gave me this. If you stop giving it to me, I'm not devoted anymore. If you're not lovable anymore, if you're not providing anymore, then it's over. So it's a dova noisef. My devotion is additional to me. What's that additional thing? What I'm getting from you. But the bittul of the Eved starts here. I'm yours.
So it's like the person, and then there's his devotion.
It's
not
him. It's not him. The devotion, and we
devotion.
can pinpoint the devotion. Why the devotion? Because of all the stuff you're getting.
Or in this area of devotion. Person, this type of devoted act of devotion.
I'm not sure you
I mean, the person, and there's pinpointing the actual devotion. In this way, he's devoted, and that way, like.
Yeah, but again, why are you devoted in this way? All because of a gila milamayla. Because there's a gain that you're getting by doing this. And that gain is what, so at the end of the day, you're not serving the master, you're serving the gain of the master. You're not serving them, you're serving what the master gives you. If you could get it somewhere else, forget the master. If you love your wife because of what she gives you, you don't love her. You love what she gives. If someone else can give it better, so hey, I'll take that one. That's gila. That's dovar nice. That my whole devotion is not really giving me to you. It's this in between thing. That's the stuff that connects us. Whereas,
isn't there a downside when a person gives himself that it's limited, based according to his capacity? Masha Enkein, if it's bestowed upon you from above, then it's limitless.
That's true. That's true. The bemis is the madreg of ava betanugim. There is a gift that comes only after this avodah. There is such an in, and that's much higher time. That's much higher, but that only comes when there is this relationship to begin with. That is a true connection. Then comes a gila and milamayla. Hashem takes us in and holds us close in such a level that our respect could never bring us there in terms of our connection. But anyway, that's not that's something.
No, it's also that Kabbalah Sal comes from that. That's also Kabbalah Sal comes from the Etzem and Shama. I mean, like we.
Yeah, but Chaim's point is true. And when it's I'm giving, then they still I'm giving, and then when it's the relationship is because of your pure revelation, there's a mila to gila and mila. As Exodus always, there's a mila to both ways. Remember the two kinds of teacher. The teacher, that is, guys, figure it out, guides them along the way, or teaching the subject as the teacher knows how to teach and bring it down. So there's a mile in the second teacher, because what they're privy to in the subject is way beyond what they can discover on their own. But it's not, so there's a mile in each one, because that's not the subject right here. Right now we're focusing on this, on the foundation, on Kabbalah Soil, on the Reishis Ikra, Reishis Avay, the Vikra V'Shorsh. Let's continue. And therefore we have the place. So when a person's relationship with Hashem is because of what I'm getting, Yiddishkeit is beautiful. There's many levels to this. I don't just mean getting the Gashmias. Pashat loves Yiddishkeit, they love Chassidus, and love learning. Some people like that. They love learning Gemara, they love Judaism. It actually is very lovable. I mean, it's a nice way to live. No question about it. And get into it. And it's very fulfilling. And he's very responsive. He's doing all the right things. But he is not really touched. What's being touched? His seer, his form. What does his form mean? My mind is filled, my heart is filled. Not the essence. It's all of his measurable. Seer again means form. Form means my experiences. Seichel, midas, I'm enjoying, I'm understanding, and it fills me. What's it filling? What's it touching? My mind, my heart. But then there's the core me, not touched. If the whole thing is just the experience of Yiddishkeit. If the whole thing is the experience of Yiddishkeit, then what happens? Sometimes, the experience, not so, it was exciting, it's not exciting anymore. And that's it, I walk away. Because why to begin with? It didn't come from me. If it comes from me, then you're faithful. You're there no matter what. That's Kabbalah style. That's, you're giving yourself at your core. Not I'm just giving you my mind, my heart, because my mind enjoys this, my heart loves this. I'm giving you me. That's the effort. But if it's all just because I love and I understand, in other words, it's giluim that comes to me, then there's no real change at the core of the person. And therefore, the bittul betachlis, to be truly devoted, bittul the eved, which is the bittul of the eved, I am yours, and in brackets. The difference between a person who's free, independent, and a servant is the difference at the core, because the servant belongs to the master. And an independent person does not belong to the master. He can have a relationship with the master, but it's all only based on the gains that he gets. It doesn't belong to him. To belong to the Eibishter, that's the deepest connection. I'm yours. Period. And that God doesn't take from us, that he can't. In other words, this is the paradox. Hashem can make us love him. Very easy. Just give us blessings and put us in an environment where it's so beautiful and I love this. He can make us love him, but he cannot make us be his servant. That's got to be my gift. That's my decision. That's why it's the whole foundation. That's the oitzid of Yerushalayim. That's the treasure that Hashem treasures that he won't take from us. Help us, but won't take from us. And you have to know there's only one treasure up there. That's this, my Kabbalah style. That's what Hashem in Yiddish Tzaskit, which he looks at this, opens the treasure box and just derives the greatest nachas and tainuk. Look at my Yiddel has done. Look what this child has done. He's just giving himself over to the biggest tainuk. So here, the biggest, where's the true connection? Is when the person himself accepts about himself to be the king's servant. Yeah, next paragraph. Now we're going to explain why the Frierdiker Rebbe said this when. Look at the context. The Frierdiker Rebbe is saying this sikha, standing on the train station. The whole context is Mesiras Nefesh here. He was sentenced to death. Many of the Chassidim were shot. They were sent to exile in Siberia under the harshest conditions. Gewaltige Geschichte was the Mesiras Nefesh. And what does he say in the Sikha? Remember, we're not like our forefathers. This is much more, surely, or equal. Well, this is going to be explained now. And why this talk now about Bittul Mesiras Nefesh? I mean, this is what's happening. What's he say? We're going to learn this together. I'm just going to glance there. The same is also true of Mesiras Nefesh. Meaning the kid Mesiras Nefesh bittul betachle. What's Mesiras Nefesh? I'm giving myself over. You told me the word nefesh. I'm going to close the door, please. He wants to close it. Close. No, so that's what he says. What does nefesh mean? Nefesh means soul, but it means it has a specific translation. No? Ein nafshi Allah Amazeh, that's the Rai in the Pasuk Chassidus brings. Explain the word nefesh. Chaim, still there? Rotzen. Nefesh means desire. It's one of its meanings. And ein nafshi Allah Amazeh, I no longer desire to be connected to this people. Why? Because the deepest expression of life is desire. I want to live. I want to be successful. Want. That's the deepest expression. Look at a baby that's born. No seichel, there's no midas, but there's I want. The deepest way. I want to be fed, whatever details. But I want. I want to live. And that's the deepest instinct. I want to live. It's survival. That's why nefesh means life. It also means the desire to live, because the deepest expression of life is the desire to live. And it's in all of nature. You put a plant in a room, it's going to bend towards the sunlight. The desire to survive, to live, is integral in every aspect of nature. So what does Mesiras Nefesh mean? To give over my want. I want. You want. That's what it's going to define my life. So Mesiras Nefesh b'tachas habitul u'befrat, and especially now he's talking about the Frierdiker Rebbe. Rebbe's going to explain here the matzav there at the train station, 1927, communist Russia. Especially when the Yid will have Mesiras Nefesh on such things, shall be din, according to the halacha, in brackets, tzivui milamayla, what God is saying you have to do. Now the reason he's saying that is because that's gila milamayla. God says, okay, it's your response to that. It's a revelation. He knows it says in Shulchan Aruch you have to do like this. But when it comes to details, hidur, it's not a commandment. He's not obligated to be Mesiras Nefesh, hapi halacha. But he's saying in Rashi and the Chassidim about Mesiras Nefesh, all of Yisrael, and details, keep a beard, not to touch the beard. The kid could go to school, but not write and carry it. No, didn't send the kid to school. There's many ways, halachically, many things could have been circumvented and being compromised. If you just go by the clear-cut directive, but that Mesiras Nefesh for the details. That's true Mesiras Nefesh. So this kind of Mesiras Nefesh, it's not the revelation above. In this context, it means, doesn't even say you have to do this. The person is giving himself over. Be'ez Hashem will continue tomorrow.